Hey guys, Cowboy here. So last night, one of the biggest and greatest battles in the online gaming history happened in EVE Online. Over 6,000 pilots took to their virtual heaps of metal and slugged it out for over 12 hours on New Year's Eve. This is the story of the Battle of M2-XFE. So I wanted to preface this by saying this is a very high-level overview of the war and the fight. I'll try to be as unbiased as possible, and some of the numbers I put out might change based on new info and also depending on the date you're watching this video. First off, what is EVE Online? EVE is a spaceship sandbox released by a company called CCP about 20 years ago. The area we're focusing on is called Nullsec. Groups of players can band together and hold systems in their name that they could use to exploit resources and have a place to call home. EVE for the past 2 to 3 years has been in a rather peaceful state. Groups have left one another alone, so their members could basically build wealth and resources. Goonsworm for a long time has been the biggest industrial might in the game. Based in the southwest, their members had free reign to strip the area of resources at will, knowing they were under the protection of their capital umbrella. Goonsworm's enemy, much the same, controlled the area to the south and the east of New Eden. That group controlled those areas as part of a bigger coalition called Papi. Some of the members of Papi include Pandemic Horde, Northern Coalition, Mangos, Brave, and Test. For many months, Papi and Goons had something called a NIP, or a non-invasion pact, meaning no group would invade one another. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. 6 months ago, Test decided to end that NIP. Whether it be old grudges or just sheer boredom, Test rallied the troops and the war started. For 6 months, both sides have traded blows. Papi is focused on taking down systems and structures one by one, and has done a very good job at it. One of their leaders, Villy, has been adamant this will not be over until goons are deleted off the map. Papi's great success has been mostly due to their sheer numbers. They also have years of knowledge from great leadership and previous wars. Most of the fights they have been able to outnumber goons 2 to 1. In a game where numbers count, they take the cake. As for Goonsworm, they have taken to the strategy of Turtle Up. It's been widely criticized, but it's actually a brilliant strategy if you think about it. It's not that they don't want to fight, it's just that they want to do it right. Think of it as the Americans versus the British in the Revolutionary War. It was suicide for the Americans to go toe-to-toe with a far superior fighting force. Take the right fight and bunker down for the long haul. Test your enemy's resolve. December 31st started out like any other day in the war. Papi was contesting objectives next door to M2. A timer was up on a Goon Fortizar, and per usual, Papi capitals had formed to bash the structure. For these bashes, they have been using mostly carriers or smaller. Earlier in the year, Goons escalated a fight, but due to some coding and server issues, their weapons had been widely ineffective on their Titans. This led to the question, why should we field their super fleet and risk something that doesn't work? CCP for the past few months has been working very hard to fix these issues and build the confidence that everything was good to go for the fight. Apparently both sides agreed because at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, the pings started to go out. Goons undocked their Titans, Papi followed shortly after. The battle started off like any other. Ships started piling in hundreds at a time. Approximately 5,000 pilots were in the system, and Papi started chipping away at the Fortizar. Goons waited tethered to evaluate if this was going to be the big one. Note, this was a mostly meaningless keep star. It served no strategic value. At about 10% into the armor, Goons decided to fire. Note, when both sides commit, they are willingly stepping into a long fight, sometimes 8+ hours. From this point, it was on. This was two heavyweights going for blood. For the next 10 hours, both sides traded punches. My Titan for yours. To put into perspective how much one Titan cost, it's approximately 80 billion ISK in-game. The quick math is if a monthly sub costs $15 US and is worth about 1.2 billion, then 80 divided by 1.2 times 15 is about $1,000 per ship. At one point, there were 1,300 of these ships on grid, not to mention the other 4,000 ships coming in and out of the system. There is no repping large enough to save any one ship. If you were targeted, you were destined for Valhalla. With both sides fully committed, pilots were even getting instant replacements. Numerous pilots lost multiple Titans after the final tally. The fight continued into the night until the server downtime. In total, 250 Titans died, 125 from each side. Losses totaled about 12 trillion from each side for a total of 24 trillion ISK. While a strategic victory was technically won, both sides could come out of this holding their heads high. After all the dust has settled, there's one clear winner, and that is the EVE community. This is a testament to how alive the game truly is. It's a testament to how brilliant the game coding is, especially for a game that's 20 years old. The fact that a server can manage a 12-hour fight dealing with hundreds of thousands of calculations per second is astonishing. Will this be the last of the Titans? Doubtful. For all we know, this might be just the tip of the doomsday. Thanks for watching, you guys. Fly safe.